Now that we've estimated with fractions, we're actually going to multiply fractions and whole numbers. So the best advice I can give you is to take and put that fraction or that whole number over top of 1. So now you are going to see two fractions. You can multiply across, then simplify, or simplify using the greatest common factor, then multiply across for a final answer. So again, just like when we were estimating, I talked about both of these examples. Again, it's going to be able to work for multiplying whole numbers as well. So an area model, I'll show you, a couple of examples here. So for the first one, 5 pieces. So I have 2 times 2/5. I'm going to make another one here. So I'm going to fill in 2 of the 5 pieces, okay? So 2 of the 5 pieces. Now, if I add those together, I end up getting 4. So I would fill in 4 pieces on my extra one. And so my final answer would be 4/5. So, I guess if I came back and if I actually solve this to multiply straight across, 4/5. All right, so I would know then that I have my final answer. If I wanted to estimate, I could do 2 times 1/2, which is 1, and 4/5 is close to 1. So I would know that I have the right answer. For the next, I would do 6 pieces. That would have 2 pieces shaded. And then 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 over 3, which equals 4. And I did this one here because I put it over top of 3, which is my denominator. That's going to stay the same. That would be the same here as multiplying straight across and getting 12 over 3. And then simplifying to get a final answer. So just wanted to show you that you can model these with a drawing if you would like to. So getting into and solving these, 9 over 1 times 1/3, I'm going to use the greatest common factor. I just feel like it's a lot quicker. So 3 is the greatest common factor of 3 and 9. And remember, we need to make sure we cancel something that is diagonal to one another. So 3 over 1 is what I get when I multiply across, or 3. 4 over 1 times 1/8. Again, 4 is my greatest common factor, so 1/2 is my final answer. And then switching it up and putting the fraction first, it doesn't change my problem. Keeps it the same. But now I need to multiply across because there's nothing that I can reduce. And I get 15 over 4. I could leave it as an improper fraction, but I want you to make them all mixed numbers. And so 4 goes into 15 3 times, which is 12 with 3 left over. So 3 3/4 would end up being my final answer. All right, so moving on to the next, some story problems. So a cat spends 2/3 of its life asleep. If a cat lives to be 15 years old, how many years did it spend sleeping? So I can do 2/3 times 15 over 1. I see that I have a greatest common factor here, which is 3. Now all I need to do is multiply across. I get 10 over 1. So making sure that I have a label with my story problem, 10 years is the amount of time that cat would have spent. So if you put this in terms of your life, you basically have been asleep your entire life, since most of you are 11, maybe 12. So Master Splinter buys 36 pizzas to feed the Ninja Turtles. If Michelangelo eats 5/8 of each pizza, how many pizzas did he eat total? So 36 over 1, because that's my whole number, times 5/8. Now, greatest common factor. I can see that it's 4, so that goes in there 2 times, and it comes in here 9 times. Multiply across, I'm going to get 45 over 2. So now I can try to do this mentally. I could do a long division problem. Either way that I feel comfortable. Well, let's see. 22 times 2 is 44. So I'm going to do 22 and 1/2 pizzas. And that would be my final answer. So the important thing to remember with multiplying fractions and whole numbers, put that whole number over top of 1 so you can see 2 fractions, and then either cancel within the fractions and then multiply across, or multiply across and then reduce.